This is not any, it's nothing precise, but it gets the job done. And this is actually, this is kind of the fun part. It's all about the wrist stitch. All about the wrist stitch. You get it all over. You got to use these really great pins. And number one. And you just keep doing it over and over again. I'll start out with 4 of the large pans and then 1 of the small, because over the last weeks, that's what I've been using. Although I'm going to try to make smaller Biscotti this time, because this actually is Lisa's recipe. And maybe it'll last a little bit longer. Oops. Maybe it'll last a little bit longer for her. And again, gotta have plenty of flour. Although I have to tell you, too much flour really kind of makes them burn. Sometimes the burning of the Biscotti on the bottom is because it has too much flour on it. So, and we'll be using this area anyway. And I'll turn the ovens on in just a bit. There's no sense in getting too excited about that.
When did you first start making Biscotti?
Well, we started doing this when we had babies, so I guess it was Anne, and that was 49 years ago. And sister and I used to, on 31st Avenue, she would come over, and we would get all the ingredients. We used to cream the butter and the sugar in our mixer, and then from there we took the flour and we dumped it into a baby bathtub, and we actually had to use spoons, and we had to knead it with our hands. Truly, it really did. It was quite an endeavor, and we did it pretty much that way until we moved here. And thanks to Sam Catterton, I got a whole bunch of the public school system was going to prepackaged food, and for a very nominal fee, not to be divulged, he sold me the mixer, the Monster that's in the other room, and I tell you, it's a godsend. So I've been using that. All of these pans that I have here came from the public school system in Prince George's County. I also have a meat slicer. Thank you, Sam Catterton. Anyway, we're going to be done with this.
So you used to knead this in a baby bathtub. What do you do now instead of that? Does the mixer do that?
Yeah, it doesn't.
And a mixer that you would have at home would do that?
Absolutely. You would just follow all the things that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And all you would do then is just.
Because your mixer is actually kneading it.
Well, we had to do it that way because you can't add the flour to a regular mixer. It's too much. And we didn't think about having the recipe. We thought it was some kind of special thing where you actually had to do exactly that. I mean, we were new, inexperienced cooks. We were totally inexperienced cooks. Because all we wanted to do was replicate the tradition. And it's turned out to be quite a nice tradition. My sister and I both enjoy it.
Where did the tradition come from?
Well, our grandmother, Lucy Mary Vitello Pavanelli, she did it. We used to actually sit in her kitchen, either at Sissy's house or at her house, and we shelled the almonds. You did not buy almonds in those days that were shelled. You had to sit there and crack the mounds and mounds. And she made 10 or 15 pounds. She didn't make it at one time. But in the end, 10 or 15, that's like 4 or 5 pounds of shelled almonds. You know, it's a big deal. It's a darn big deal. Let me go in here and see what's happening in the.
It's pretty labor intensive back then.
Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's get. Now, I mean, you know, you have to admit, the monster is a thing of beauty. It is.
Whether it's biscotti or mashed potatoes.
Exactly. It does have its uses, and I certainly have. Enjoyed using. It's great for 24 cups of flour if you're doing bread.
So what does it have to look like before you know to put the eggs in?
Well, I'll tell you, it's getting there. See, if you pick this up right now, instead of it being big grains, it's really much smaller grains. And you'll see they'll kind of melt. They'll kind of melt, and I don't want to have...
color to do it again if you want.
All right, these are the 18 eggs and the lemon rind involved. And you'll see how it's kind of transformed. You'll be able to see it much better. And this is really one of the more important rolls right here. For the mixer, that is. And I would do this no matter what mixer I was using. I would always stop and scrape it down and make sure that we're getting all the sugar and the butter, which will form into clumps. They have to get in there so that they can melt and make a... Now, I'm sure that the biscotti we make is much different today than it was when my Nonnie was making it, because we have technical advances that, you know, ensure that. I think it's a finer crumb, and on top of it, I just think the technique has helped it be a little more refined. Okay, now that's going to have to be for a bit.
Is
What
that
does
the
thing
speed?
do?
I don't know why this is so hard these days.
What does it do?
It makes you giddy up. Oh, see, I've got 3 speeds. I've got slow, fast, and faster. Number 3 is very fast.
Oh, okay.
But that is good. And that shouldn't get on you, Stephanie. It really
no.
shouldn't. But we'll wash you off.
If it does, it's fine. That's why I'm holding the camera out here.
Oh,
I have a good one of flour and purifying it.
well, when we get to the flour, we are going to have it on one. We're not going to have it on this one.
Did any of old Nonnie's sisters make this?
You know, I think they all made it. But when I'm on Facebook making this, I noticed that one of my cousins, Mary Margaret Adams, has said, send me some. But I don't know how often.